engaging visuals of money, people budgeting, or digital graphics representing finance. Narrator. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Tailored Money Matters. Today, we're diving into the world of budgeting, that one thing we all know we should be doing but maybe haven't quite mastered yet. But don't worry, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build a budget that actually works for you, no matter your income or financial goals. Title screen: Personal Finance 101, Building a Budget That Works. Section 1. Why budgeting is important. Narrator. So, why budget at all? Simply put, budgeting is the foundation of financial health. It's your roadmap to reaching your financial goals, whether that's paying off debt, saving for a big purchase, or just living comfortably without stress about money. On-screen text: budgeting equals financial freedom. Narrator. Think of budgeting as a plan. When you have a clear plan, you can decide where every dollar goes instead of wondering where it went at the end of the month. Transition to a clean, visual breakdown of benefits. Reduce stress, financial clarity, control over spending, and reaching goals faster. Section 2. Steps to start budgeting. Narrator. Alright, let's break it down into 3 simple steps. Step 1. Track your income and expenses. Step 2. Set up financial goals. And Step 3. Choose a budgeting method that suits your lifestyle. Step 1. Track your income and expenses. Narrator. First things first, tracking. Before you can start budgeting, you need to know exactly what you're bringing in and what you're spending. Think of this as taking a financial snapshot of your life. Visual example: show an example of income, like paycheck amounts, freelance work, or part-time income. Narrator. Track all sources of income. That's your starting point. Next, list every expense from rent, groceries, and utilities to smaller purchases like coffee, snacks, or that one streaming subscription you forgot you had. On-screen text: income, expenses equals what you have to work with. Narrator. Once you have a clear picture of your income and expenses, it's time to set some goals. Step 2. Set your financial goals. Narrator. Now that you know what you're working with, let's look at your financial goals. Having clear goals is essential because it keeps you motivated and on track. Think about both short-term and long-term goals. Visual example: short-term goals like saving for a trip or paying off a credit card balance. Long-term goals like buying a home or saving for retirement. Narrator. It's best to be specific. Instead of saying, "I want to save money," try, "I want to save $1,000 in 6 months for an emergency fund." The more specific your goals, the easier they'll be to stick to. Section 3. Choosing a budgeting method. Narrator. Okay, with goals set, it's time to choose a budgeting method that works for you. Let's go over 3 popular methods: the 50/30/20 rule, zero-based budgeting, and the envelope method. Method 1. The 50/30/20 rule. Narrator. First up, the 50/30/20 rule. This is a simple method that divides your income into 3 categories: needs, wants, and savings. On-screen text and visual aid. 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings. Narrator. Here's how it works. 50% of your income goes to needs, like rent, groceries, and bills. 30% goes to wants, like dining out, entertainment, or shopping. And 20% goes to savings and debt repayment. Narrator. This method is great for beginners because it's simple and you don't have to track every single dollar. But remember, it's a guideline, not a hard rule. You can adjust the percentages to fit your situation. Method 2. Zero-based budgeting. Narrator. The second method is zero-based budgeting. With this approach, every dollar has a job. You take your income and you allocate every dollar toward a specific category down to 0. Visual example: show an income amount being divided across different categories until 0 is left. Narrator. This is excellent if you're someone who wants control over where every dollar goes. It's also a good way to find areas where you may be overspending. Method 3. The envelope method. Narrator. Last, we have the envelope method. This is a cash-based system where you allocate a specific amount of cash to each category, literally putting cash in envelopes marked with categories like groceries, dining out, or entertainment. Visual example: show physical envelopes labeled with various expenses. Narrator: once an envelope is empty, that's it. No more spending in that category until the next month. This method is fantastic if you tend to overspend and need strict limits. Narrator: you can even create digital envelopes using budgeting apps, which work similarly to keep spending in check. Section 4. Customizing your budget based on income level. Narrator: alright, so let's talk about adapting your budget to your income. Different income levels can present different challenges, but the principles are the same. It's all about making adjustments where necessary. Budgeting on a low income. Narrator: if you're on a low income, focus on essentials first and look for ways to trim down on unnecessary expenses. Prioritize basic needs and try setting small savings goals, even if it's just $10 a month. Every little bit helps. Budgeting with a high income. Narrator: on a high income, you have more flexibility, but budgeting is still crucial. You might consider increasing the amount you save or invest each month. You can also allocate a bit more toward wants, while still setting aside a solid portion for long-term financial goals. Section 5. Tips for sticking to your budget. Narrator: once you have a budget, sticking to it is key. Let's go over some tips to help you stay on track. Tip number 1. Track your spending regularly. Narrator: review your budget weekly or monthly. See where you're sticking to it and where you might need to make adjustments. A regular check-in can keep you accountable. Tip number 2. Use budgeting apps. Narrator: apps like Mint, Inab, or Good Budget can simplify budgeting and even help you stick to your financial goals by tracking your spending automatically. Tip number 3. Adjust as needed. Narrator: life happens and your budget might need to change with it. Maybe you get a raise, have a new bill, or want to save for something special. It's okay to adjust as long as you're moving closer to your goals. Section 6. Final thoughts. Narrator: alright, that's it. Building a budget might seem intimidating at first, but remember, it's just a plan for your money. You're in control. Start small, set clear goals, and track your progress. On-screen text: take control of your finances today. Narrator: let us know in the comments which budgeting method you plan to try, or share any tips you have. Don't forget to subscribe for more personal finance tips, and remember, every small step you take today brings you closer to financial freedom. Thanks for watching. End screen with call to action for subscribing, liking the video, and visiting any social media or links for more financial resources.